A Catholic health center in South Sudan has temporarily shut down after 3 doctors at the facility tested positive for COVID-19. It is expected to be closed for around 2 weeks. The country has around 6,000 confirmed coronavirus cases. Joining us now is Brendan Gata, Stewardship Director for Sudan Relief Fund. Brendan, welcome, and thank you so much for your time today. Can you give us an update on the situation in South Sudan as it pertains to the coronavirus pandemic? What are you seeing so far as the number of cases, and what's the status of vaccines in the country as well as available treatments?
Yeah, and thank you for having me. I mean, truly, the situation over there is going to be a little bit slower than it is here in terms of even the spread, but also, you see a number like 6,000, and that might be as low as anywhere, but it's also just due to the fact that so few people over there are being tested. And so, right now, it has not, I don't believe, spread as rapidly as it would here, but it's a situation they're not ready to handle.
Yeah. Can you also talk a little bit about, how the pandemic is affecting the people in the country, specifically the faithful? For instance, have they been able to attend Mass?
Yeah, so originally, no, they were on a shutdown, and then quickly the government, I think, saw it's already, a bad situation over there. And so many people's livelihoods were really based on day in, day out work. And so they worked to be able to provide food for that day to sustain themselves and others. And so very quickly, the government kind of shifted their tone and let people go back to working. But the churches were shut down for quite a while. And just recently, in the last few months, they were finally opened again under certain conditions. But right now, the government over there is threatening to shut down the churches once again, which, of course, one of our partners, Bishop Eduardo Kusala, he has been fighting to really help the government see just how important having religious ceremonies and masses and whatnot is vital to the health and the well-being of these people.
Yeah, it certainly is. Can you give us an update now on the peace process in South Sudan? I know Pope Francis has been following that very closely.
Yeah, so I mean, Pope Francis met with the president and the vice president back in 2018 in April. And ever since then, the violence has truly subsided, at least in general. So there, of course, have been random outbreaks since then, but the Civil War really kind of stopped in 2018. In the last 2 years, it's been a whole lot more peaceful. But the reality is that the government is dragging their feet, and for President Kair, it makes sense to a certain extent to slow this process so that he can remain in power. So there's really kind of a power struggle between him and these other factions. And most recently, they kind of decided to have vice presidents for each and every territory, but the division between who was in power, even in those positions, has been hotly contested. So it's definitely far from a perfect situation. And the hope is that by 2022, they will be having a general election. But I think most people who are close to the situation are very weary of that actually happening.
Yeah, it sounds like such a difficult situation over there overall. If viewers would like to help, how can they do that? Where can they go for more information?
Yeah, I think so. Our organization, Sudan Relief Fund, is really on the ground working with a lot of religious organizations, working with Bishop Eduardo, and trying to make an impact in that way. And so if anyone is interested in supporting through our work, they can check our website, which is SDNRLF.com. That's SDNRLF.com, Sudan Relief Fund.
And Brendan, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for what you do. We appreciate it. Brendan Gata, Stewardship Director for Sudan Relief Fund.
Thank you.